Already, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already, we're live, and as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be going through. Wait, let me just actually mute myself. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Guys. Alright, perfect. And as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be working with switches in C++. Last stream I went through basics, the stream before that I went through basics in C++ as well. Today also I'm going to be going through some basics. That said, I will be working with switches as well. That said, let me go to my gameplay screen. And guys, give me a sec. Let me actually just on my fan. It's like really hot here. And like I am kind of burning. Maybe even on the blinders for some light. I should have done that before starting. Okay, there we go. Alright. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so let me say, since I'm live, let me check if the stream's going good. Okay, let me say, let's say I'm live, exclamation. Okay, let's see. Let me just check if my stream's going good. Guys, I feel it should be a little more to the left. Wait, hold up guys, let me just fix this part real quick. I think that should be my... Guys, give me a sec, let me just fix my screen. Okay, I think it should go a little to the left. There, I think that should be good. Okay, what happens if I open my VS Code? Does the whole code play? Okay, let's see. Alright, I think that's perfect. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's pretty good. Alright, let me get to back here. Okay, listen up Vivek and listen up Chad. This is some usual casual walkthrough Codeland. This is training camp and today we forge a programmer who... Guys, I forgot I didn't on my fan. Instead, I on my lights. Give me a sec. I should have done this before streaming, guys. Hold up. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's read now. Where was I? Okay, listen up Vivek and listen up chat. This isn't some casual walkthrough Codeland. This is a training camp and today we forge a programmer who doesn't break under pressure. Every bug is a bullet, every fix is a shield, and every line of code is a strike of sword. If you're here watching... Guys, I don't know, I'm not warmed up right now. If you're here watching, you're watching a warrior learn command machines, okay? Now, switch statements in C++. A switch statement is a control structure. It's your commander's table. You drop a variable on it, and based on the value, you execute a different order if else chain, okay? No confusion, clean, direct, brutal. Works with, how do you pronounce this? Integral types, integer, character, and enum. I've honestly never heard of it. Is it pronounced as enum, guys? And I'm not warmed up yet, guys. Okay, no strings, no floats. Case is your branch, and when a case matches, code runs until a break. If you forget break, it falls through like a soldier ignoring orders, rushing into the next case. Sometimes useful, sometimes catastrophic. Default is your catch-all, okay. If nothing matches, this runs. Think of it as the general yelling, handle everything else. Okay, I think the default is like a underscore in like Python's match case statements / switches. So example, we include IO stream. We don't choose namespace, but we typecast our main function to be an integer. We create a variable called choice, and that choice is going to be an integer. We go with a static console output, enter a number from 1 to 3. Okay, static console input of choice. Then we type switch, a pair of parentheses, our choice variable, and then we add a pair of curly braces. Inside of curly braces, we go with case 1 colon, standard console output. If our case is 1, we display this output, and then we break. If our case is 2, we display that output, and we break. Lastly, if our case is 3, we display that output, and then we break. If none of those outputs, if none of those cases are met, we go with a default case, invalid choice. Okay, enter 2, only case 2 executes. Enter 2, only case 2 executes. Forget a break, it slides to the next case like a one-wheel train. Today we drill this until we can wield it with precision. First question coming next. Write a program that asks the user for a day number 1 through 7. Use a switch to print the day, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. If the input is outside 1 to 7, print invalid day. Okay, I see. Let me get Sensei slash ChatGPT there. Okay, let's see. Before that, guys, let me drink some coffee. I think I'm not energetic today. Alright, perfect. Let's see. Okay, and guys, this was the code from last stream. If I were to go with a controller, delete the whole thing. Let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, this includes IO stream, and then I won't be using vectors. That said, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I go with integer main, a pair of curly braces. Okay, and then I create a variable. So let's read the instructions. It says write a program that asks the user for a day number. Okay, for a day. So I could go with something like integer of day. Okay, I won't set that to anything, and then let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something. Let's see. I'll say something like enter a day. Okay, the day needs to be from between 1 to 7. I'll go with a colon and a space, ending that with a semicolon, and then let's go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my day. Okay, next up, use a switch to print the day name, Monday, Tuesday, etc. If the input is outside 1 through 7, print invalid day. Yo, if you also want to learn something to help you with switch cases, there's also something called an enum. Ask ChatGPT what it is. Honestly, ChatGPT stuff, since I did say about that, I should actually ask after this question. Okay, let's see. So I'll go with something like switch. There we go. Okay, so I had to go with switch, a pair of parentheses, my variable name. That is going to be day. And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add my cases. So my case 1, pair of colon or like colon. Okay, so if my case is 1, if my user did enter 1, if my this variable is 1, I'm going to be going with a standard console output with an insertion operator. Let's see. I'll go with something like I don't know, Monday, exclamation. I'll go with another insertion operator of a / new line. And then if my case is 2, before that I do need to break, I think. There we go. Okay, next up, if my case is not 1, instead my case is 2, I'll do something else. Okay, if my case is 2, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something else. It's Tuesday, exclamation, with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Then let me go with a break. I feel this extra space just makes it look weird. There we go. Okay, next up, if my case is 3, okay, if my variable is 3, then I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator and say something like it's Wednesday. There we go. Is that how I spell Wednesday? With another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon, and then I'll go with a break. And then let's say my case is 4. If my variable is 4, I'm going to be going with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll say something like it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There we go. Is that how I spell Thursday? With another insertion operator of a / new line. And then I will be adding a break and moving on to the case 5. If my case is 5, I'll do something. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. Let's say it's Friday. Okay, this should be a colon and not a semicolon. There we go. It's Friday. Let's go with exclamation with an insertion operator of a / new line. And then if my case is 6, then I'm going to be going with another standard console output. So let's go with standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be saying something like it's Saturday. Okay, exclamation with an insertion operator of a / new line. Let me end this with a semicolon as well. Okay, lastly, if my case is 7, then I'm going to be going with another standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting something like it's Sunday. Exclamation with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Honestly, I think I should add a default as well. So let me go ahead and add a default. There we go. A default case. Did it need to have a colon or like a semicolon? Or just like a colon? I forgot. What did we need for the default case? Okay, so I just needed a colon. Okay, so let's go with a colon and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying enter a valid day. Okay, I'll go with another insertion operator of a forward slash new line. And then let me go ahead and return 0. Alright, perfect. If I were to hit Control S and run the command, let me check if this thing is going good. Okay, so if I run the command, okay, it says enter a day. I'll go with something like, I don't know, maybe 7. Okay, it's Sunday. Enter a valid day. Why does it say enter a valid day? I entered 7. Wait, let me try it. Let me try that again. Okay, let me run the command. What if I go with something like 1? Okay, it says it's Monday. Then why does 7 say that enter a valid day? Okay, let's try 7 again. And can you guys... okay, I don't think you guys can see that properly. Hold up, let me just change that in my OBS real quick. Okay, I think that should be good. Alright, perfect. Let me go with 7 again. Why does it say enter a valid day when I go with 7? Okay, let's see. Oh, because I didn't go with a break. Okay, let me go with a break. There we go. Didn't I go with a break for these as well? Oh, I see. That's why break should be... Okay, I think I understand. Okay, maybe I'll go with a break here as well. Alright, perfect. Now if I were to hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Let's go with 7. Okay, perfect. It's Sunday. Okay, let's go with the Control A, Control C. Copy that. Get /ChatGPT here. Then if I were to paste it and enter, let's see. Close your cases. Yeah, I forgot the break statement. Okay, yes, that's it, Vivek. This is clean, precise, and absolutely correct. You didn't forget a single break. Guys, I did forget a break. You handle the default like a true commander and your output is clear. This is how a switch should be written. Chat, look at this. You just took a raw code. Okay. Next up, write a program that takes a character input plus minus asterisk or /, then ask the user for 2 numbers, use a case to perform the correct operation based on the character. If the character is invalid, print invalid operator. Okay, I gotta ask about the enum as well. So let me say, so let's say before I do this question, someone from my chat said me to ask you about the enum. Okay, is that even pronounced like enum? Good, your chat is sharp. They know where the path leads. Listen, Vivek, enums are like named constants in a army lineup. What is an enum? An enum, short form for enumeration, okay, is a user oh my gosh, is a user defined type that gives names to a set of integer constants. Instead of writing 0, 1, 2, 3, you write meaningful labels. It makes code readable, less error prone, and cleaner. Huh. Oh. Wait, hold up. That actually might be pretty... Okay, behind the scenes, Monday is just an integer with value 0, Tuesday is 1. Okay, and so on. You can also assign your own values. Enum level or like enumerator level, easy 1, medium 2, hard 5. Why use enum? Better readability. If day equals to Monday is cleaner than if day equals to 0. Works beautifully with switch statements because enums are integral values at heart. Keep your code organized when you have related constants. Examples with switch. Okay, so enum Monday. How old are you? I'm 17 years old. Okay, enum Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have a better code for this, honestly. You guys could like join the Discord server and like mention me there and like send the code because I do like seeing the codes. Okay, so I typecast my main function to be an integer, then I go with day to day. Okay, day to day. Okay, I went with enum day. Today is Wednesday. Okay. Oh, I think I see. Switch today. So case Monday. If the case is Monday, I show that console output. If the case is Friday, I go with that. If the case is Sunday, I go with that. Okay. See, instead of passing a raw integer, we use an enum value. That code is cleaner, no random magic numbers. Okay, your chat gave you gold here. If you master enums plus switches, you code like you're commanding an army with ranks, not random head counts. Oh, I see. Okay, let's say I do want to work with enums in a bit. Although before that, can I get some more practice with the regular match case questions? Question mark. You can use if and else if. Honestly, we could use if and else if as well, but then match case statements, they look more cleaner, some people say, because like for a long if else if, it makes it more readable and less. I mean, it honestly depends on the user, like on the person who's writing the code. Like, I do prefer if else if as well, but I think it's pretty good to even know match case statements. Okay, slash switches, match cases for Python. Okay, good. You guys want to good. You want to build muscle memory before lifting heavy weapons. That's the right instinct. We'll grind out a few more push switch practices, then we'll unleash enums. Here's your next instructional question. Write a program that takes a number 1 to 12 from the user, and use a switch statement to print the name of the month, January, February, up till December. If the input is outside 1 to 12, print invalid month. Okay, let me get Sensei slash ChatGPT there. Damn, 160 people watching. Congrats on 2.1k subs. I swear you were like at 796 a few days ago. I appreciate you. What's up, baby? Honestly, I do appreciate you guys so much for that. Hey, maybe I drink some coffee. Switch come first and is basically very basic as compared to if else if. Oh, I see. You're growing fast. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so let's start off by including IO stream. So let me include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Which programming language are you using? I'm using C++. The reason I'm learning C++ is for my, whatchamacallit, programming for 258 series. For my goal by the end of that series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic in it. And since I am going to be working with games, I thought it'll be pretty good or like useful to learn C++. Okay, C language. Okay, so let me start off by typecasting my main function to be an integer, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let me go ahead and let's see. So it says write a program that takes a number from 1 to 12. So I could go with something like integer number. Okay. Or I could go with something like month. Alright, perfect. And then let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator that is going to be saying something like enter a number. Okay, enter a month. Okay, enter a month. This is going to be from 1 to 12. Okay, and then I'll go with a colon and a space, ending with a semicolon, and then let me go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my month. Then you'll have STL and C++. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon as well. Okay, next up, I gotta use switches, so I could go with something like a switch, okay, a pair of parentheses, and then inside I'll go with my month variable, okay, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. So I'll add a few cases. So case 1 is going to be something like, okay, so if my variable is 1, that's my case. If my case is 1, if my user entered 1, I'll end that with a colon, and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like, let's see, it's January. Okay, it's January with an insertion operator of a / new line. I'm just curious, can we add break? Can I add break here as well? Oh, I can add break here. Okay, never mind, I cannot add break here. I thought I could. Okay, then let me go ahead and add a break. Okay, next up, let me go and add, if my case is 2, I'll do something. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll say something like, it's February. How do you spell February? Is that how you spell February, guys? Let me check. Guys, I cannot spell. Okay, February. There we go. Did I spell it correct? Feb. Guys, give me a sec. I'm not good with spellings. Okay. Let's copy that. Okay, let's paste that here. There we go. Okay, it's February. Exclamation with another insertion operator of a / new line. Try to explore more about STL and C++. Honestly, I might do that. I thought only JavaScript had switch. Then I found out Java also has switch. Now I find out that C++ also has. Honestly, Python has switches as well, but it's called match case in Python. Okay, then let me go ahead and add a break statement. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a case 3. For my case 3, I'm going to be doing something. Honestly, instead of like typing it, I can just like copy this part. Okay, and then paste it here. Okay, I'm going to be saying something like it's March. Let me add an exclamation here. Okay, and then let's go with case 4. Okay, for my case 4, I'll paste that again, and this time instead of March, I'll be like something like April. Okay, and then I'll go for May. So case 5 is gonna be May. I'll go with paste that. Right, I didn't know Python also had switches. Yeah, Python has switches, but it's called match case statements. Okay, I'll change this to May. Okay, and then I'll go for June. That's case 6. Okay, so paste that. Okay, this is gonna be June. And then let's go for July, case 7. Guys, why are there so many months? Okay, this is gonna be July. Okay, and then let's go for September. May, June, July, August. My bad, guys, August. So case 8 is gonna be August. Let me paste that. Okay, let's go with August. Okay, now let's go with September. So case 9 is gonna be September. Let me paste that here. Okay. Alright, next up, October. Guys, I'm not going to be adding exclamations. Okay, let's go with 10. Case 10 is going to be October, so let me paste that again. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add November for case 11. Case 11 is going to be November. Okay, lastly, December. Let me actually fix my typo. There we go. Lastly, for my case 12, I'm going to be adding December. Guys, that was so long. I spelled December wrong. There we go. Okay, honestly, I might add a default case as well. So let's go with default. Okay, my default is going to be something. I'll add a pair of curly braces. Did I have to add a curly braces? Pretty sure no. Okay, let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll say enter a valid month. Okay, that should honestly be pretty good. I'll end that with a insertion operator, okay, of a / new line, and then lastly return 0. I've never used it when I program in Python. Honestly, I've honestly just used it while streaming or like while I had a content for that. It is pretty fun to use match case statements, but I feel like if else if statements is like it's like a muscle memory for me to use those. That said, enter a month. Let's go with 5. It's May. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the control C. I do want to ask a question to Sensei/GPT. Let me paste it, go with Shift Enter and say, Sensei, I have a question, ... Why do we use switches instead of if/else, if/else question mark? They both seem long. I thought that switches are a short way to use if/else, if/else. I don't think Python has switches. Honestly, Python has the content of switches, which is called match case statements instead of actually switch. So you write match and add your variable name, and then you go with if case 1 do something, if case 2 do something. Okay, next up, listen closely, Vivek, because this is where many beginners get confused and start wasting time. Why switch? Switches are not magic shortcuts, they're tools for clarity, readability, and maintenance. Not necessarily length. Here's why you use switch over if/else, if/else. Clear structure for many discrete values. If you have 1 or 2 conditions, if/else is fine. If you have 10 or 12 days, months, menu options, switch makes it clear which value triggers which block. Okay. You don't have to scroll through a giant chain of if/else, if, reduces error risk. Oh, I see. Optimization. Enums and switches work better like blood and steel. Okay, in short, switch is a necessary. Short, it's clearer, safer, and sometimes faster. Okay, you have any discrete values to check. Okay, let me say, Sensei, can I get another question mark? Hey, apparently Python has switch, but it's called match case. Guys, let me drink some coffee. Okay, write a program that asks the user for a grade character A, B, C, D, F. Okay, A, B, C, D, F. Alright. Use a switch to print the meaning A, excellent, B, good, C, average, D, poor, F, fail. If the user enters any other characters, print invalid grade. Bonus, try to handle uppercase and lowercase letters, A for excellent, etc. Using fall through, okay, so you don't repeat code unnecessarily. Okay, try to handle uppercase and lowercase. Huh, I see. Okay, I don't know much about uppercase and lowercase. I should actually try that. Okay, so let me start off by including IO stream. So I'll include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Maybe I fix my include spelling. There we go. Okay, and then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main. Okay, lowercase integer main. And then I'll add a pair of curly braces, go with a bunch of spaces. And now it says enter. Okay, so write a program that asks the user for a grade. So I could go with something like integer. Wait, this is gonna be a string, right? Honestly, I think it's gonna be a character. So I'll go with something like character. So char of grade. Okay, I'll go with a semicolon and then I'll add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something. Let's see. I'll say something like enter a grade character. Okay, grade char. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon and then I'll add a standard console input with an extraction operator this time. I want to extract my grade. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon as well. And then let me go ahead and add a switch. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and add grade inside of my curly braces. I'll go with a pair of parentheses, my bad guys. And then I'll add a curly braces. Now, I'll go with case 1. If my case is, let's say, A. Okay, if my case is A or lowercase a. Okay. If my case is either uppercase A or lowercase a, I'll do something. I'll go with a standard console output, include bit slash stdc++.h uses. It includes all header files. Honestly, I do like, someone in my last stream also said me to include that. I actually will like make a separate stream where I work with that. Okay, for now I do want to do this thing match cases. Although I've been kind of curious on what that does. I might check it the stream actually. Okay, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator that says excellent. So I'll go with something like excellent with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. And then I'll have a break statement. Okay, next up, if my case is either an uppercase B or a lowercase b, I'll go with a colon here and then let me go ahead. Okay, why does my uppercase B not work? If my case is A, I break. If my case is B, isn't this how it works? Did I miss something? I'll go with a break. Okay, let me try adding a standard console output. So I could go with like a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like, let's see, it's gonna be good with another insertion operator of a / new line. Why can't I? Why is that showing me like a red underline? Did I do something wrong, guys? Here. Okay, so case A, it works for my case A. Okay, that is great. If my grade is either uppercase B or lowercase b, what happens if I just go with uppercase B? Does that still give me an error? Okay, what if I go with a lowercase b? The whole case gives an error. Hey guys, I might ask this part to Satsai real quick. Okay, let's copy this part. Get Satsai / ChatGPT here. Okay, let me paste it, go with Shift Enter, Satsai. While I was in middle of writing my code, why does it give me a red underline for my case B question mark? Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a classic trap, Vivek. Listen closely. I'll break this down before you keep wasting time. Switch case only works with integrator types, not strings. Okay, what is... Oh, it doesn't work with strings. But that is a character. A and A. Oh, okay, so... What up, guys? I think this was the very basics. If something is inside a pair of double quotes, that's considered a string. If something is inside of a pair of single quotes, that's considered whatchamacallit, a character. Okay, I did learn this like day one. How did I like actually forget this part? Okay, apparently that wasn't the only issue. I still get an error here. Let's see. Okay, let's read the whole thing, guys. I shouldn't have rushed out. How to fix? Use a character, literal A and A. Okay, single quotes, not double quotes. Handle both cases with fall though. Case A, case A. Okay. Standard console output, case B, case B. Continue other grades. So I gotta have two separate cases. The OR doesn't work. See that A and A fall through the same block, not repeated code, clean, perfect. You almost try to force Switch to think like if slash else. Okay, don't do that. Switch doesn't think, it follows orders. If you want, you can try writing the full program correctly now. Okay, I see. So we can't use OR here because I'm pretty sure in Python we could use OR. Okay, let's go with something like case. Okay, if my case is A, okay, I go with a break. So, first, should this be indented? Like, the way GPT did it, she like indented it. Okay, I mean, I feel like C++ doesn't care about indentation because like many of you guys did say me that. Okay, let's go with case. This is going to be case lowercase b. Let me indent that. And then go with a break. That will be, honestly, that might be my next question. That is the break even necessary? Okay, next up, let's go with case C. So if I go with a uppercase C, okay, if the case is either an uppercase C or a lowercase c, I'll do something. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. What is this going to say? Okay, let me just scroll all the way up. Okay, this is going to say average. So let's go with average. So average. Okay, with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. And then let's go with a case D now. So if my case is... okay, honestly, I forgot a break statement. So let me go ahead and add the break real quick. Okay, next up, if my case is either an uppercase D or my case is a lowercase d, I'm going to do something. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying for. So I'll go with for with another insertion operator of a / new line. And then let me go ahead and add a break. Lastly, if my case is an uppercase F or my case is a lowercase f, I'm going to be going with a standard console output. So std : console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like fail. So I'll go with fail with another insertion operator of a / new line. And then I'll go with a break statement. Okay, perfect. Lastly, let's go with a default. So I'll go with a default case that ends with a colon. Okay, I'll add a standard, lowercase, standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like, let's see, enter a valid grade. Okay, exclamation with an insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, and then I'll end that with a semicolon. Then let me go ahead and return 0. Alright, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, let's see. If I hit 3, actually not 3, if I hit something like B, it says good. Okay, perfect. I think it works. I did have a question, so let's ask the question now. Let's get something / GPT here. Okay, let me paste it, go with Shift Enter and says, let's say, dot. I thought that indenting doesn't matter in C++, so is it fine if I don't indent my std : console output with an insertion operator inside? Okay, if I don't indent that question mark. Let's see, listen Vivek, this is where beginners get complicated. Technically, C++ doesn't care about indentation. The compiler doesn't look at spaces or tabs before your line. Your program will compile and run fine even if everything is jammed to the left, but, and this is a big but, indentation is your weapon for readability and sanity. Look at your switch. If you jammed all the cases to the left, it would be hard to see which case belongs where. If you come back to this code, okay, in a month or something, else and or someone else sees it, they'll hate you. Oh, I see. Indentation makes block look obvious, follows logic and helps you avoid errors like missing, break. I see. Okay, let me actually say. Should say, I honestly wanted to do a question that includes the vector functions, strings, and switches. Dot 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 question mark. Does that work? Maybe like an RPG game. Guys, for some reason I like making stuff that includes RPG game type stuff. Okay, now you're thinking like a war commander, Vivek. Combining switches, strings, and vectors into a minigame. Yes, that works perfectly. This is where we start. Guys, here comes a lag again. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. That lasts like for 5 or some minutes, guys. And actually, I am planning to like buy a new PC, but for now I'm using a mini PC. Probably my CPU isn't strong enough for OBS. I should make sure that my OBS is not crashing as well. Alrighty, mic testing, mic testing. Guys, my OBS crashed. This is what I'm always afraid of. Like, I don't realize my OBS crashing, and then later I'm like, whoops, my stream don't even stream. Okay, that said, you have a vector of strings for item, sword, shield, potion. Ask the user to pick an item by number. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Use a switch to print details about the item. Sword attack plus 10, shield defense plus 10, potion heals 50 HP. If the user enters any other number, print invalid item bonus. If you want to level up, store the item in a second vector, integers, and print them dynamically. Let the user buy multiple items using a loop. This combines everything: vector, string, switch, and interaction, just like a real RPG. Okay, let me actually get Sutsi/ChatGPT here. Alright, let's see. So, if I did Control A and delete everything, let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream, okay? And then, since I will be using vectors, let me go ahead and include a pair of ankle braces and vectors as well. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. And then, let's see. So, what does it say? You have a vector of strings for items. So let me go ahead and create a standard vector with a pair of ankle braces. This is only going to be consisting of standard strings. Okay. Honestly, isn't strings like incompatible for switches? Okay, I think I'll try. So I'll call this items. I'll end that with a semicolon, and then ask the user to pick a number by 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me go ahead and say something. So I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like pick a number from let's say 1, 2, 3. Okay, from 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, perfect. I will end that with a semicolon, and then let me go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my, let's say, items. So I'll go with something like, okay, this is where things are a little confusing. So I'll go with something like a standard string. I can go with a string though, because switches are incompatible with strings. I think I could try. So standard string of item. Okay, perfect. Wait, I could go with something like number. Honestly, let's go with an integer. Okay, so I'll go with an integer of item number. So I'll go with item number. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon, and then let me go ahead and add my item number here. Okay, perfect. Next up, let's see. Use a switch to print details about the item. So I can print details about the item. So let's go with switch. Okay, so I'll go with switch, a pair of parentheses, then maybe I'll drink some coffee. Okay, so let's see. I'll add a pair of parentheses. Inside my pair of parentheses, I'll go with my item number variable. Okay, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. So, if my case is 1, if my user entered 1, I'll do something. Let's see. Let me go ahead and indent that first. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something. I'll insert something like, okay, so the first one is sword attack plus 10. So I'll go with something like sword attack plus 10. There we go. With another insertion operator of a forward slash new line. And then let me go ahead and break. Okay, next up. I'll go with case 2. So my case 2 with a colon, then I'll indent it. So if my user entered 2, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be shield defense plus 10. Actually, there needs to be a colon here. There we go. Okay, let's go with shield. So I'll go with shield defense plus 10. Excuse me, guys. And then I'll go with another forward slash new line. Okay, lastly, let's go with a case 3. But before that, let me go ahead and break this. And then let's go ahead and add a case 3. For my case 3, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be something like potion. So potion heals 50 HP. So I'll go with heals 50 HP. Okay, perfect. And then I'll go with another insertion operator of a forward slash new line. And then if the user enters any number, print invalid items. So anything else. So I will go with a default case. So let me go ahead and maybe hit a Control Z. Okay, so default colon, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. Maybe it's going to be lowercase. Okay, so I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like pick a valid number, ... Okay, with another insertion operator of a forward slash new line. Okay, bonus. If you want to level up, store the items in a second vector, integers, and print them dynamically. Let the user buy multiple items using a loop. So I could go with a while loop. Okay, I can go with a while loop. So if user hit 1, then okay, store item stats in a second vector. So I could create a second vector now. So let me go with a standard vector, which only consists of integers this time. Okay, second vector integers and print them dynamically. Okay, this is going to consist of integers because I could append my item number in it. Would that make sense? Okay, second vector, store the item stats. So item stats. There we go. Okay, that might make sense. And then integer item. So these are my item stats. Okay, so could I go with something like push back instead of case 1? Okay, so I go with a case 1. Next up, let's go with my item stats dot the push underscore back function. I want to push back something. I want to push back this text. So let me copy that text, then paste it here. Okay, so item stats dot pushback. Why can't I use pushback? Did I spell it wrong? STATS. I'm pretty sure I spelled it correct. Okay, push underscore back function's correct as well. Maybe a semicolon. Can't I push something back? Oh, okay, wait, that is an integer. Okay, so that is a string, so let's go with a standard string. Okay, there we go. Now I push that inside my vector. And then let's do that for case 2 as well. So I'll go with item stats, the item stats dot the push underscore back function. I want to push back something. Let me go ahead and push back my this text. Let me copy that, paste it here. Right there. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add that with a semicolon as well. And then for my case 3, let's go ahead and add item stats. So item stats dot the push underscore back function. I want to push back something. I want to push back my potion stats right here. Let me copy that and paste it here. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon as well. Alright, perfect. So I append everything inside my vector of strings, okay, of item stats. Should I like go with a new line for every item? Okay, honestly, I'm pretty sure I do go with a new line. Although before I break, I could go with a standard. Actually, after I break, I think. Okay, so after I break, I could go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, I do have a new line here, so I might not need to go with a new line. Okay, now, how would I add this inside of a while loop? Okay, so I could go with another case. If case is 4, okay, I could say something like, okay, let me go with a pair of parentheses here and type 4 to quit. So 4 to quit. Or I could go with exit, that sounds much better. 4 to exit. Okay, so after my case 3, let me go ahead and add another case. I'll go with case 4. Then let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is gonna be something else. Let's see. So, okay, so if my case is 4, I'll say something like thank you for hold up guys. There we go. Okay, thank you for shopping. Is that considered shopping if you go with stats? Thank you for shopping. There we go, with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. And then let me go ahead and add a break statement. Okay, perfect. Now, I should add this inside of a while loop. So let's go ahead and copy this whole thing and then delete this. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll go with while, a pair of parentheses. Okay, this is going to be while. Okay, so while something happens, while my item number is not equal to 0, actually it's not equal to, or you mic testing, mic testing. Guys, my OBS crashed again. I should actually do something about my OBS keeps crashing. Okay, let me make some coffee. Alright, let's see. Okay, so I added everything inside of my while loop. So while that happens, I have a switch and I have a bunch of cases. Maybe my switch goes there. Okay, I think that should work. Let me go ahead and return 0. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Let's see, it says pick a number. I'll go with something like 1. Oh my gosh, does this end? That was an infinite loop. Okay, while my number is not equal to 4. Okay, so while my number is not equal to 4, so first I go with switch. Oh, okay, the cases should be indented inside. So let me go copy everything here and indent it inside. I mean, indentation actually doesn't matter for switches. Let's go with the Control S again to save the code. Okay, let's go with something like 3. Says thank you for shopping. Guys, I actually went with a break. What's wrong? Okay, let's see. Let me try to figure this out, guys. What happens if I get my return 0 here? I mean, indentation doesn't matter here, right? Okay, so my while loop starts there. Then it ends here. Okay, that is my item number. Item stat dot pushback. Should I go with a break after? I mean, under this, would that work? Let me copy that. Okay, then let me paste that here. Okay, so first I add a break. Let me go with the Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, so what happens if I go with 1? Okay, it says start attack +1. Okay, honestly, let's go with a bunch of Control C's, go with the Control A, Control C, copy the whole thing, get sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, let's start sensei, guys. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this, go with Shift Enter and say, I feel like I messed up, question mark. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, Vivek, listen carefully because this is a golden teaching moment. You almost had it, but you made a few deadly mistakes that will break your shop logic. Missing break in case 3, you didn't put a break after the potion case, didn't I? That means when the user picks 3, it doesn't stop, it falls straight to case 4 and prints thank you for shopping immediately. This is a classic fall through trap. While loop will infinitely loop, okay, you ask user for item number once before the loop but never ask again inside the loop. After one iteration, item number never changes, so if they pick 1, 2, or 3, it keeps looping forever. Case 4, inside the loop, you included case 4, okay, inside the shopping logic, but the loop condition while number is not equal to 4. This is unnecessary if you can just handle exiting after user enters 4. How to fix? Add break after case 3, ask for item inside the loop, okay. Remove case 4 from the switch. Okay, just print thank you for shopping after the loop ends. Okay, I see. I think I see, guys. Okay, so let me copy actually all these 3 things, then delete it from here. Maybe zoom in and let's see. Honestly, instead of copying everything, I'll leave the item number outside. And guys, is my OBS seriously crashing again? Okay, let me go ahead and delete that. Okay, and then before I start with my switches, guys, is my... Okay, it feels like everything's lagging all over again. Okay, I think it's good now. Okay, no man, it's not good. Guys, I should do something about this lag. It's actually pretty awful. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead. Okay, let me just restart OBS real quick. Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, I think whenever my OBS lags, I can just, restart OBS. Okay, let's go under this and paste my user input. Okay, maybe I indent that part. Alright, let's see. So, after a while loop, I ask the user for something, okay. Then I go with that. And once my loop ends, so let me get my case 4. Okay, let me just copy this part actually, and then delete my case 4 from here. Okay, and then outside my while loop, let me go ahead and paste this case. So once my loop ends, I go with something like thank you for shopping. And then let me go ahead and iterate over my vector, because I do want to show my item stats as well. So I'll go with a for loop. So for a pair of parentheses, okay, let's say for every let's say for every item, and for every standard string of item, in my vector of item number, actually item stats. Okay, there we go. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add something. I'll go with a static console output with an insertion operator. I'll go with my item. Okay, with another insertion operator of an empty space. Honestly, instead I'll go with a / new line, ending with a semicolon. Okay, and outside my for loop, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of a standard end line. Alright, perfect. If I hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command now, it should work perfectly. Okay, it says pick a number from 1 to 3. Let me actually check if my my console is showing in my stream properly, because I feel half the stuff is kind of cropped, I guess. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, I think it works perfectly. Alright, so pick a number from 1 to 3. It says PC's battery running low. Isn't my PC charged? I thought it was charging. There we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, chose the whole thing. Alright, so I'll go with something like 2. Okay, shield defense, I'll go with something like 3. Pick a valid number. Oh, I forgot to add a break after my 3. Okay, let me go ahead and add a break. Alright, if I hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command, see point, I'll just shove it in. Guys, I look at the chat on my laptop, so like I gotta charge it. Okay, it says warning, the power supply is not plugged in properly. Please disconnect the power adapter. Should I like disconnect? I forgot which is my power adapter, guys. What up? Give me a sec, guys. Let me just unplug this and like replug it in. There we go. Alright, let's see. Let's go with something like 1, 2, 3. What happens if I go with 5? It says invalid number. Let's go with 4. Okay, sword attack plus 10, shield. Okay, perfect. Instead, I could go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like 1, 2, 3, 4 stats. Okay, with another 4 hyphens. I'll end that with a actually I'll end that with a forward slash new line. Okay, and then a semicolon. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's go with something like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so it says stats. Thank you for shopping. Okay, I want the stats before my for loop, so let me copy that. Okay, let me get that before my for loop. Right here. Okay, let me paste that here. Okay, then I have a space here. Okay, let's go to Control S now. Okay, so let me go ahead and add 1, 2, and 3. And then 4. There we go, stats. These are my stats. Thank you for shopping. Alright, perfect. Let's go with the Control A, Control C. Copy that. Good simply slash ChatGPT here. Okay, let me paste it. And I actually even hydrate my lips. It's kind of dehydrated, guys. Okay, yes, that's it. Correct, clean, and functional. Look at you. Look at what you fixed. You moved the input prompt inside the loop, so the program now updates item number each time. No infinite loop. You added the missing break after 3 case, so potion is no longer accidentally triggered. Thank you for shopping. You removed case 4 from the switch and handle the exit after the loop, which is perfect. You iterate over item stats at the end and print them all. Your inventory display is solid. This is exactly how you combine vectors, strings, and switches into a mini game feature. Headpads, hugs, and a kiss on your forehead. You are this warrior, guys. That did not make me blush. Now, if you're ready, we can level up. We can level up this shop, okay, with enums. That way, instead of numbers for items, you can have name constants, and your switch will become even cleaner. Okay, let me say yes. Let's say dot dot dot. Although, can you show me how to use it first? Question mark. I've honestly never used it. Okay, let's see. Maybe drink some coffee too. Okay, good. You want to level up. Smart move. Listen closely. This is where your code starts looking like a master's work. Enums in C++. Think of an enum as a way to give names to a set of integers instead of remembering 1 equals sort 2, okay, equals shield. You can create a name with type with meaningful labels, then use those names in your switch. Clean, readable, unshakable. Enum item, okay, sword, shield, potion. Here sword equals 0, shield equals 1, potion equals 2. Okay, by default, you can also assign your own values, sword 1, shield 2, potion 3, using enums with switches. Okay, enum items, sword 1, that's going to be shield 2, potion 3. Okay, item choice, input, so we got an integer of input. Okay, item choice, so choice is going to be our items, which are these, and then input, okay, integer input. We go with a standard console output, pick an item, 1 sword, 2 shield, 3 potion. Then we go with a standard console or just with a console input. Choice equals to static underscore cast item. Okay, I've honestly never learned of the static underscore cast as well. Convert integer to enum. Okay, switch choice, sort. Okay, why is it better? Your code is more readable, sort instead of 1. Okay, let me say something like, so let's say I've never heard of the static, okay, static underscore cast with a pair of ankle braces, function question mark. Is it called a function? Okay, let's see. Listen, Vivek, this is important. Pay attention. Static cast isn't a normal function like console input or console output. It's a typecast operator, a tool the compiler uses to force one type to another. Okay, in our enum example, the user enters an integer like 1 for sword. Our switch expects an item enum. C++1 automatically turned integer into enum. This is where static item input comes in. Excuse me guys. Breakdown. Choice equals to static cast item input. Okay, static underscore cast tells the compiler I know this integer should be treated as an item enum. Input the integer we're converting. Static underscore cast is safe. It checks that the cast makes sense at compile time. Unlike C style casts, unlike C style casts item input, this is more explicit and prevents accidental conversions. Think of it like branding new raw recruits into your army. You have raw integers, but only named enum soldiers are allowed in the switch. Okay. The cast puts the integers in uniform so the switch recognizes it. If you want, I can now show you how to rewrite your RPG shop using enum switch vectors so you see static underscore cast in action with your game logic. Do you want me to do that? Let me say something like, Sensei, I honestly want to work a bit with the static underscore cast first before doing any more switch questions. ... Okay, let's see. Good, you want to master the tool before wielding it like a sword. Smart move, Vic. Listen closely. Static underscore cast is used to force one type to another, but it's not a magic one. It's a control transformed you can use between numeric types, double integer. So we have a double of pi, which equals to 3.14. We go with integer a equals to static integer pi. A equals to 3. Huh. Okay. Integer pi. Oh, I see. Okay. Pointer types example base derived in certain situations. Enums, integers exactly like our RPG shop example. Enum item sword equals to 1, shield potion. Integer input item choice equals to static cast item input choice equals to shield. Why is it better than type value? More explicit, easier to read, safer the compiler checks. Okay, at compile time. Exercise to practice static underscore cast. Instruction question. Ask the user for a double number. Example 7 to 9. Okay, example 7.9. Use static cast to convert it to an integer. Print both the original double and the casted integer. This will force you to get comfortable with static underscore cast without involving switches yet. Write this code, show me, and I'll judge whether you've got the concept. Alright, let me get sensei/chatgpt there. Let me go with the controller, delete everything. Okay, let me start off by including IO streams. So I'll include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. I won't be including vectors because I'm not going to be using it just yet. That said, let's see. Ask the user for a double. So let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. And then let's see. Let me go ahead and add a double. Double is basically a floating point number. My double is going to be pi, which is ask user for a double number, example 7.9. So pi is going to be equal to 3.14. Okay, and then I go with, let's see. Did I have to go with an integer? So integer a. Was it considered integer? Let me actually check. Okay, so it is integer a. Integer a equals to static cast. Okay, so static underscore cast. There we go. Okay, I want to static cast my pi. Wait, do we do it like that? Okay, so it's static cast with a pair of ankle braces. So, okay, let's go with ankle braces. This is going to be integer. I wanna integerize my pi, if that's how you say it. Okay, ending with a semicolon. So now that should just give me 3. And guys, I did see the reference code for this. That said, the concept is same for like enums. Okay, I see. Input. Okay, I think I see. So I gotta print the original and the double version. Okay, so I could go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to print my pi with another insertion operator of a forward slash new line. Then let me go with another standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert my a with another insertion operator of a forward slash new line ending with a semicolon. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. If I would hit Control S, save the code and run the command, 3.14 and 3. Okay, I see, okay. Let's go to Control A, Control C, copy that, get ZT/ChatGPT here. Let me go ahead and paste this, go with Shift Enter and say, let's say, I think I see ... I just need more practice. Can we do more questions, question mark? Okay, let's see. Exactly, like you're starting to grasp it. The doubles is in the cast. The integer comes out and you see the transformation happen. This is the power of static underscore cast. Let's push this further. Time to practice with variations. Guys, I wanted to specify one question, but I think I can do 3. Ask the user for a double representing money, example $99.99. Cast it to be a static, okay. Cast it to integer using static cast to only show whole dollars, print both the original amount and the casted dollars. Question 2. Ask the user for an integer representing a grade from 0 to 100, cast it to double using static cast and divide by 10 to get scaled grade. Print the original and scaled grades, okay. Create an enum for levels beginner 1, intermediate 2, advanced 3. Ask the user for an integer between 1 to 3. Use static cast to convert it to an enum type. Use a switch to print the level name. This will hit this will hit numbers, casting, and enums. Everything you need to get comfortable before combining it with switches fully. Okay, let me try all 3. Let's get some C/ChatGPT there. Okay, let me go with the control and delete everything, and let me go ahead and start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream, and then I honestly won't need vectors, so let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, maybe add a bunch of spaces, and then let's see next up. Ask the user for a double representing money, example $99.99. So I gotta ask the user for a double. So let's go with that. Let's create a variable for double. So I'll go with double money, which is going to be equal to. Okay, I gotta ask the user, right? Okay, so double money. Let me go ahead and add a static console output. Before that, I could go with something like integer of, let's say, excuse me, guys. Let me go with a, which is going to be equal to static underscore cast with a pair of ankle braces. I'll go with integer, okay, which is going to be, I'll add a pair of parentheses. This is going to be my money variable. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon, and then let me go and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll say something like enter an amount. Okay, enter an amount in dollars. So I'll go with something like dollar something something. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon and then add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my money variable. Okay, and then I'll end that with a semicolon. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and let's see. Maybe I could add another insertion operator here of a, let's see, maybe a forward slash new line. So I'll go with a forward slash new line. Okay, that's money, forward slash new line. Okay, I think I can do this here in that case. Let me do that in a new line. So I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of a standard end line. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for the first question. Print both the original amount and the casted dollars. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert my money variable, okay, with another insertion operator of a forward slash new line. And then let me go and add another standard console output with an insertion operator of my a variable with another insertion operator of, let's say, forward slash new line. Okay, perfect. If I were to, let me go ahead and return 0 real quick, ending with a semicolon. Alright, if I were to save the code and run the command, let's see. Okay, so it's gonna say enter an amount. I'll go with something like $99.99. Okay, this is gonna be, let me actually remove this. There we go. Okay, so this is gonna be okay, this is money, so I could go with another insertion operator of, let's say, a dollar sign. And why does that show zero? Is a zero? Okay, let me copy that. Maybe go back here and paste it here. Okay, why is a showing zero? That's $99.99. Let's see. So when I go with integer a, which equals to static underscore cast my integer of money, okay, I return 0 here, but first I go with static console output with 0. Okay, let me go ahead and add a dollar sign here as well with another insertion operator. Okay, let me hit Control S again. If I were to run the command and I go with something like $99.99. Okay, why does the second one give me a 0 instead of like 99? Okay, let's see. I don't think it's because I returned 0. My a should be static cast of integer of my money variable. Did I QC wrong function? Okay, so it's static cast a pair of ankle braces. I want to go with integer. There we go. With a pair of parentheses, this is going to be my money variable, ending with a semicolon. It's the same thing, I feel like. Let me save the code and run the command again. Let's see what happens. I'll go with something like $80.77. Okay, second one is always 0. I gotta ask that probably sensei most likely. Why is my a? Could I like think? Why is my a showing me 0? If my double is let's say 99.99. Okay, my a. I go with an insertion operator. Is my a 0 by default? It should be my money typecasted to an integer. Okay, I think I'll think about that later. Okay, let's see the next instructional question. Okay, so the next question says, ask the user for an integer representing a grade from 0 to 100, cast it to double using static cast and divide by 10 to get a scaled grade, print the original and scaled grade. Okay, typecast to double. Alright, so for the next stuff, I could go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator of a standard end line first. And now let me go ahead, actually let me add this there. Okay, next up, let's see. I'll go with something like ask the user for an integer representing a grade. So I'll go with something like integer grade. And then let's go ahead and add a standard console output. But before that, let me go ahead and typecast my grade to be a double. So I'll go with double B, which equals to static underscore, there we go, static underscore cast with a pair of ankle braces. I want a static cast to an double or to a double, okay? And I want to static cast my grade variable. I'll end that with a semicolon. And then let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll insert something like enter a grade. There we go. I'll end that with a semicolon and then add a standard console input. Standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my grade variable. Okay, next up, let's see. Print both the original amount and the casted dollars amount. Okay, so now if I want to print both the amounts, first let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be something like, let's see, my grade. This is going to be my original grade variable with another insertion operator of a / new line, ending with a semicolon. And then let me go ahead and add another standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be my B variable, which is typecasted to an integer with another insertion operator of, let's say, a / new line, ending with a semicolon. Alright, let's see, print the original and scaled grade. So I gotta print the original grade and the scaled grade. I printed that. Okay, that's honestly perfect, I think. Let me go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of a standard end line. Standard end line. Okay, ending with a semicolon. Alright, next up, let me actually test that. Let's go with the control. Let's save the code. Let me go ahead and run the command. Okay, it says enter amount. Let's go with 99.99. Okay, next up, enter a grade. I'll go with something like 50. Actually, let's go with an 80. Okay, 80, that's 32,000. Okay, I think it's like 37%. Okay, and divide by 10. Divide by 10 to get a scaled grade. I got it divided by 10. Okay, so my original grade, let me go ahead and divide it by 10.0. Okay, that gives me like, okay, let me go ahead and divide my second grade as well. Okay, now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, entry amount, I'll go with 99, 99. I'll go with 80%. So, 8, okay. Huh. Am I like doing everything correct? I'm pretty sure I'm doing everything correct. Okay, let me go ahead and add a percent sign here with another insertion operator. Okay, let me honestly add a percent sign here as well. Okay, with another insertion operator. And I could go with single quotes as well. Let me hit Control S again. Okay, let's go with something like 99.99. And then go with 80%, 8%. Okay, I feel like I added the percent wrong place. Let's just go with a bunch of Control Z's. Okay, let me add my percent sign after this, like right here. So an insertion operator of a percent sign. Add that here as well. That's 10%. Okay, an insertion operator of my percent sign. Although I feel this looks kind of wrong. Okay, let me go with the clean terminal. Okay, so 99, 99, 80%. That's 8%. That's Okay, let's see the last question. Create a enum for levels begin equals 1 or beginner equals 1, intermediate equals 2, advanced equals 3. Ask the user for an integer 1, 2, 3. Use static underscore cast to convert it to enum type. Use a switch to print the level name. Okay, so the third one I need switches. Before that, let's just go with the control A, control C. Whoops. Okay, get sensei slash chat GPT here. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this. Go with a shift enter and say, I feel like I messed up, question mark. Okay, let's see. Yes, Vivek, you messed up, but that's good. Failure is the anvil that forges steel. Now pay attention. Where you went wrong, you casted money to integer before reading the input. At that time, money had no value, so A became garbage. You must cast after you store the user's input. Same mistake with grade. You casted before asking the user, so B was also garbage. Okay, you casted before asking the user. Oh, I think I see. In your grade part, you did that's good, but then you printed B divided by 10 that wasn't tied to the user's input. How to think: input first, cast second. Don't create your casted variable until you actually have something to cast. Correct flow. Ask money, then casted, print both. Okay. Ask the grade, then okay. Static grade divided by 10, print both original and scaled. Okay, I think I see. Alright, let's see. So first I gotta ask the user. I ask the user for money here. Okay, for an amount. And then let me go ahead and cast it after I get the user input. So right under my money. Right there. Okay, so that casts my this thing. Okay, that should give me the perfect cast. And then when it comes to grades, first I ask the user as well. So I ask the user here. Let me go ahead and paste that here. Okay, and then the only thing that I do divide, let me just remove these real quick. Okay, let's go with another insertion operator here. And maybe remove this divided by 10% as well. Okay, so instead of dividing it inside of my console outputs, I divide it while I cast it. So divided by 10. Fine, so. Okay, if I hit a control S to save the code and run the command, let's go with the 99, 99. There we go. Grade is going to be something like, let's say 87%. Okay, 87% or 8.7%. That seems kind of wrong. Okay, but let's see if it's correct. Let's go with Control A, Control C, copy the code. Let me get some ChatGPT here. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this. Okay, let's see. Guys, I do see some kind of glitches in my OBS right now. I might have to like restart the stream. Okay, yes, Vivek. Now you've got it. Look at this perfect. Look at this perfection. Input first, then cast. You stored the integer after getting money. You scaled the grade after reading it, and now the math works. You're printing original versus casted slash scale values correctly. This is exactly how static cast is meant to be used. Okay, I told you failure forges strength, and look at you now, clean, correct, confident. Now the question is, do you want to push into the enum plus static plus switch RPG level system I teased earlier, or do you want a few more standalone practice drills with static before mixing it with big concepts? Okay, can I say, let's say, can I get some practice drills? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Huh. Okay, good. Good. You're not satisfied with just one victory. You want to grind your blade sharper. That's the warrior's way. Here are your next static drills. Okay, drill 1. Ask the user for their height in centimeters. Double cast it to integer to drop the decimal part. Print both the exact height and the terminated height. Is that how you pronounce it? Truncated one. Okay. Print both the exact height and the truncated one. Okay, drill 2. Honestly, oh, there's ASCII here. Use static cast to print ASCII values. Okay, I honestly don't know how to print ASCII values. Use an integer from 0 to 255. Okay, example output. Okay, let me actually say, let's say, dot dot dot. Can I get one question at a time? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Okay, good. One strike at a time. Just like training with the katana. Drill 1, your turn. Ask the user for their height in centimeters. Double. Cast it to integer to drop the